Hello guys, this is What About Nintendo, and today I am here for another graphics comparison analysis. In this video, I will be showing off the differences between the Xbox 360 version of Dark Souls and the recently shown off Nintendo Switch version of Dark Souls Remastered. Before we get into that, I'd like to put a little disclaimer in here, as I always do. All the footage shown here will be compressed as we are putting this onto YouTube, so there will be some compression artifacts and will not be at its full quality. Second off, we have very limited footage of the Nintendo Switch version, so not all comparisons are exactly frame by frame, even though some of them are. And thirdly, I'd like to say my audio quality is a little bit lower than it usually is because I'm using my webcam mic, my backup mic, instead of my Blue Yeti until I get it fixed, which will be fixed very soon. But with that out of the way, there's lots of cool details to be shown and improvements to be shown to you guys. So let's get right on into it. First off is the resolution. You can clearly see that the game is a lot clearer and sharper than the original Xbox 360 version. That's because the Xbox 360 ran the game at less than 720p, 1024 by 720p to be exact, and with a heavy anti-aliasing that blurred the image. However, it's been confirmed that the Switch version runs at a full 1080p, and you'll notice that a lot throughout this comparison. During the Bell Gargoyle scene, you will notice that this extra resolution really makes the textures look a lot sharper and clearer, and more details able to be seen and appreciated. Also, the background is much clearer and more detail can be seen from far away. The best example I could find showing off the increased resolution is this scene from the Undead Burg area. There are a lot of straight lines and edges in this area, and the low resolution produces a ton of aliasing and jaggies in the 360 version. However, the Switch version, we can see it's a lot clearer and the edges are way more smooth. Lighting and shadows. Lighting is improved in many ways in this remaster, as we can clearly see in this cutscene with the Bell Gargoyle. In these two screenshots, we can see that the Switch has much more bloom lighting and the light rays in the background are a bit more impressive. Switching over to a different part of the trailer inside the depths area, we can see that the character is fighting the Knight Kirk. At first glance, this appears to be a slightly different area than the 360 pictures, but actually I believe that they're the same area. First off, they're fighting the same special enemy, Knight Kirk, that only spawns in this area, and secondly, at a closer look, the environment itself seems to be the same, with the same archways and in the same watery tunnel. Now I realize that there is a torch right there that isn't in the area of the Switch trailer, but I looked at the footage of the entire tunnel and I couldn't see any area that had similar lighting to what was shown on the Switch. Also, we can see from the light reflecting in the water that there is in fact a torch very close by, even though it is not in frame, but the light emitted from it isn't as harsh and blends into the environment better than the 360 version. This leads me to believe that there are some dark areas of the game that may have better, more ambient lighting that gives a much darker, better atmosphere. However, the entire game isn't darker. In fact, we see a similar upgrade in lighted areas being brighter and more natural. Going back to the Bell Gargoyle scene, we can see that the Switch version is brighter than the Xbox 360 version, and the lighting is also a lot less dull. Also, areas in shadow show a lot more contrast, as we can see going back to the Undead Burg scene and looking at the shadows cast onto the bricks in the background and the shadows being cast by the parapets. Overall, there seems to be a fairly big improvement to the lighting and shadow qualities and the contrast therein, which makes for a much more atmospheric title, which is perfect for a game like Dark Souls. Textures. Testing. As you can see in this Bell Gargoyle scene, the textures on the gargoyle stand out a lot more, and more detail can be seen due to the added clarity. In this close-up shot, we can see that the textures on the tower the gargoyle is on is the exact same. But the gargoyle itself looks better as the textures are cleaner and more detail can be seen. Going back to the Dead Burg scene, we can see that the textures on the barrels seem to be more detailed, as well as the bricks in the background being more detailed than before, as well giving off a more shiny look than before. Speaking of textures getting a shinier look, this seems to be a running theme, as we can see that very clearly if we go back to comparing the depths footage. The walls in this sewer tunnel appear way more wet and reflective than the Xbox 360 version. In conclusion, the biggest improvements seem to be a massive jump in resolution and some nice improvement to the lighting engine that makes the atmosphere feel better. Of course, there may be more improvements to be found when the full game comes out, since we only have 1 minute of Switch footage so far, so we'll just have to wait and see. Anyways guys, that's all for this video. I hope you enjoyed that graphics comparison. It took me actually a pretty long while to go grab all that footage, look for screenshots, ask around for people who had footage and different things like that, look around, because I don't actually own these games, so I had to go like digging throughout the internet, finding footage of this game. It took a while to find. I think the hardest part about graphics analysis is just finding comparable scenes, and that was pretty hard since we only had a minute of Switch footage, but I think there were some interesting comparisons and some nice upgrades to be found, so I hope you found that to be very informational. If you have any other improvements that you've seen or noticed in your own comparisons, let me know down in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video and you want to see more videos on Monday through Saturday and live streams Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, make sure to hit that subscribe button and hit that like and share button so more people can see this video, and I'll see all you guys later on What About Nintendo. Bye!